Grand Prix Speedway is huge in Europe. We're in the historic city of Cardiff, of course, as you can see here. No bigger city than this for Speedway racing. Just around the corner, Millennium Stadium, 80,000 people. It's a huge event. Let's go inside this magnificent stadium as we build up to the Australian Grand Prix. What people in Australia don't understand is just how big you guys are in Europe, particularly Poland, the country where Speedway is huge. Tell us how big it is.
Yeah, it's really popular, and we get anywhere between 10 to 15,000 fans for a match, And
you couldn't walk down the street.
Nah, they'd know about it. If I was in our hometown that we race for, you couldn't do anything, Even if we just went for a drink somewhere, I'd be in trouble for being out, We seem to keep pumping out a lot of good riders, and I think at the moment it's probably the strongest it's been for a little while. We've got a lot of younger guys coming through, and they're starting to get in the Polish, Swedish leagues and stuff like that. So up until 2012, when I was the champ, I had a pretty dream run. I hadn't been injured really at all. That was anything to, no sort of major injuries. But then after I'd won, it was like I'd ran over a black cat or something. Since then, I broke and dislocated my hip, which moved up and broke my pelvis, shattered my right heel, collarbone twice, fractured C5 on my neck.
Now, this is my problem with you, Chris.
That's in like 2 years.
This is my problem with you. So you ride these things that have no brakes, 90 miles an hour, got to wash off the speed by throwing the thing sideways with a fence 5 metres away. What, you're kidding yourself?
Yeah, I know. When it's going good, you don't care about anything, but when they bite it, they seem to bite really hard, and you got to have a lot of respect for it too, because you're racing 3 other guys and they're in the same situation, so a lot of trust in each other, and hopefully do the 4 laps and come out on top.
In Poland, you wouldn't be able to walk down the street without being recognised or noticed, but in Australia, does that frustrate you?
No, not at all. It's nice to not be known in Australia. It'd be nice to have the Speedway a little bit higher up in the ladder, but when we're in Poland, it's one of the #1 sports, and they get massive crowds.
Now, Jason, I know that you're a very aggressive rider. You're going to come around this corner tonight and get to this point here, and you're going to not take out whoever, but you're going to go where you need to go, aren't you?
I think I've heard the same about yourself, a little bit aggressive, but it's in any sport you need to be aggressive.
Has that worried you in recent years that, not just the crashes, but you have to be aggressive to get to the top?
Yeah, firstly, there's a lot of riders what are very aggressive, and if you don't mix it with them, they take advantage. I think now that we've got the air fences, it's a little bit more safer, which makes the riders ride on the fence. Sometimes it can be dangerous riding on the fence, but I think with Speedway, if you're not on the fence or on the fastest line, you're getting overtaken most of the time.
You love the life of being a Speedway rider?
Yeah, I do. It is a nice way of living, I guess. If I didn't make it, I'd be working back at home, and I'm not sure what. I wasn't the cleverest at school, so it is not a bad life, but sometimes when you're crashing all the time, it makes it difficult.
And the Australian GP last year and our second this year, what do you make of Etihad Stadium and the GP itself?
When we turned up, the track was probably the best indoor stadium we had all last season, and to ride in front of Australian supporters was amazing. It was one of them tracks where it had a lot of dirt. It wasn't just one line where you can just ride inside. There was a lot of overtaking, a lot of clay-based material, which made a lot of fast racing, and it was probably 100% the definite best one.